The other thing that gives me a bit of pause in all the success is what I hear coming from the Democratic candidates, which, of course, if you're a preschool advocate, sounds good. I was watching the forum at Howard University. This was in June, and one of our columnists, Dwayne Wickham, asked the candidates a question. I don't know if you remember this, but he said, what do we do about this situation where unemployment rates among black high school graduates are lower than the employment rates for white high school dropouts? And so each of the candidates had a shot at this question, and without fail, their answer was preschool. And I'm thinking, if you're promising preschool for this, are you going to end up, over-promising? Are you hearing anything that worries you?
Well, it's in the nature of the political game to overpromise, because by the time the promise does or doesn't come true, you've moved on to something else, maybe to another job, moved up the ladder. And I think it really is, the advocates have a very tricky path to follow. It's necessary to simplify issues in order to be understood generally. It's really important not to oversimplify them. It's important to show what the promise is, and to not overpromise. And boy, in the soundbite age, that's hugely difficult to do. But if you ask Americans, a poll taken in South Carolina, the overwhelming majority of the people who responded, Republicans and Democrats, said, we don't just want, I'm for kids or I'm for preschool. They wanted a plan. They wanted to know something with some detail. When George Bush and company conducted focus groups in 2000, they found that if you insert the phrase, for the children, in any sentence, you get 10% more support. Iraq war, for the children, 10% more support. So 2008, it's a different era, and I do think this is where the journalists and the advocates have got to push the politicians to live up to their promises, and to point out those moments where they're overpromising, or what they're saying isn't matching what they're doing.